All right, guys, so now the last thing I want to do is make sure we can't add multiple items. Okay, so we're going to create a function to check to see if the item exists. I'm going to go down. You can put this wherever you want, but I'm going to put it under the onClick item. So I'm going to say function and then call this check if item exists. Okay, and then we want to pass in the item. Now, there's a few ways we can do this. We need to get the items from local storage. So let's say const, say items from storage, set that to get items from storage. And then we want to check to see if the item is already there. So there's again, there's a few ways we could do this. I'm going to use the includes method, which you can run on an array, and you can see if something is included in that array. So items from storage is an array, and we're going to say if includes, and then let's pass in here the item. Okay, now this will return a true or false. So we can say if that, then return true, else we can return false. Now this is a long way to do it. Since this actually returns true or false, we can simply return this, right? So I'm going to grab that, and instead of doing that, let's return that. So we make this function only 2 lines. All right, so now where we want to use this is where we do our submit. So let's come up here, and we want to run this if we're not in edit mode. So right here at the end of this if, let's say else. Let's check if, and say if check if item exists, pass in the new item that's added in the input. And if that's true, then we'll just do an alert and say that item already exists. Okay, and then we want to make sure we return from that. So let's save that. And now if I try to add, let's say juice, if I try to add juice again, I get that item already exists. If I edit, like if I click on eggnog and I want to edit it and I click update, I want to be able to still keep it at what it was. So that's why I said, else if we're not in edit mode. Okay, because I want to be able to do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't let me edit it and leave it the same. But yeah, I think that we're all set. So let's just make sure, let's try everything. Just delete, make sure the 2 elements go away. We can't add nothing. Add an item, these 2 appear. We can filter it down. We can clear it all. And yeah, so that's it. If I reload, we should have the same thing. So we learned a lot in this little project, at least in my opinion, when it comes to working with the DOM and adding and removing elements, when it comes to all the basics, functions and loops and conditionals, local storage. So hopefully you learned something from this. Even if you already are pretty good with JavaScript, hopefully you learned something. So in the next video, we're actually going to deploy to a platform called Netlify.